everybody. We at IrisVision are so happy to be having this webinar today. Myrna Wilkins is the head coach at IrisVision, and we have our special guest, Sam Seavey, who is a YouTube personality. He reviews various technology associated with low vision and legal blindness. And he's pretty much a celebrity in the world of low vision and legal blindness. So we're so excited to have him. Sam and Myrna will be having an excellent discussion talking about their personal experiences with low vision and some ways they've really found techniques to counteract some of the challenges that they've had in life and where they are now. So I'm going to give a little bit of an overview of our guest speakers. So Sam from The Blind Life was diagnosed in early adolescence with Stargardt's disease, a form of macular degeneration. He was legally blind by his mid-teens. He's the creator of his own YouTube channel, The Blind Life, dedicated to sharing his experiences living with vision loss. The Blind Life has over 25,000 subscribers and boasts over 560 videos covering a wide variety of topics of interest for those affected by vision loss. Now about Myrna. Myrna Wilkins is the lead coach at IrisVision and legally blind user of the device. She has vast experience working with low vision patients and has trained hundreds of users by walking them through the process step by step to ensure achievement of their personal vision goals. So as you see, both Sam and Myrna come to us with a wealth of knowledge, and we're very excited to have them here. A couple housekeeping tips for our viewers. So we will have a Q&A session towards the end of Myrna and Sam's conversation. If you are interested in asking a question and having them answer it, feel free to utilize the chat or Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. You can go ahead and type your questions here at any point during this webinar, and we will be answering them towards the end. So you can either type them in as we're going on or wait till the end. Other than that, we should be good to go. Again, a recording will be sent out to all registrants at the end of this webinar. So without further ado, I'll pass it over to Myrna and Sam.
Awesome. Thank you, Mel. Appreciate that. So hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from, wherever you are in the world. We're so excited to have Sam on with us today. As we all know, well, most of us know, Sam has an awesome YouTube channel. And so we're going to kind of chat with him a little bit today. So Sam, as Mel mentioned, you were diagnosed with Stargardt's disease, right? So I was diagnosed as well, right around mid-teens. So what age exactly?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say congratulations, Myrna, on being part of the Stargardtian crew. That's awesome.
Yes.
So I was diagnosed right around age 11, and my sister, who is 2 years older, she got diagnosed first. And so, you know, the doctors and the parents, they knew that they should probably be keeping an eye on me as well. And then sure enough, as I say, I drew the short straw, also the genetic short straw, and got it as well. So yeah, right around age 11.
Okay. Oh, so your sibling has it as well. How many siblings do you have?
Just one. Yeah, just one. And we both have it. So we really
wow.
won the genetic lottery on that one.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I'm the only one. There's actually 6 of us. So yeah,
wow.
There's 4 brothers, a sister, and I'm the only one who has it. And I was diagnosed somewhere around that age too. I was about 12 when I was diagnosed. So
yeah, and I think that's more common is that it's, you know, since it's a recessive gene, that usually you don't have more than 1 or 2 that kind of pop up. So well, that's cool.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I was the lucky one.
There you go. You're the special one.
That's right. Exactly. It takes a very special kind of person to have an eye condition.
It takes a very strong person. That's right.
Yeah, for sure. I always feel like if people could see through my eyes, they'd probably curl up in a ball and rock in the corner or something.
Absolutely.
So, and it's crazy how with an eye condition like ours, it's difficult for others to know that we are actually legally blind. Have you ever come across that?
Oh yeah, yeah, all the time. I mean, they call it the, you know, one of the invisible disabilities. Especially, I say that, you know, with low vision, about where ours is, I guess. I'm assuming yours is similar to mine. We're kind of straddling the fence between the sighted world and the blind world, and so we've got 1 foot in each side, and yeah, I hear that a lot. Oh, you don't look blind. In fact, I one of my shirts I made that I sell on Amazon says, "You don't look blind." And it's like, oh, okay, well, thanks, I guess. I don't know how to respond to that.
Exactly. I didn't know how I was supposed to look, but
Yeah, I'll do better next time, I promise.
right. I'll make sure I read the manual next time. So
well, that's the thing. Is like, if you saw me trying to read a menu, you would definitely not say that.
right, exactly. So when you were diagnosed, what was your initial reaction? Like, how did it actually make you feel? Did you understand what was going on? Because, you were pretty young, so.
Yeah, I know. And it was so long ago. I have no idea. I don't remember at all. I remember the process. I remember going to the doctors and being terrified. I talk about this on my channel and in different presentations and stuff, that I was certain that the doctor was trying to kill me, and that my parents hated me, and I was being punished for something. So I don't know how old you are, and I won't ask, but I was diagnosed, at age 11, was probably 86. Okay. 87. And so back then, tests, they were very rudimentary. I remember being put in a room, a very dark room. They dilated my eyes, and I swear, now I did a presentation a couple years ago at the Ohio State School for the Blind and their optometrist school class. And I told the story, and they assured me, no, this is not what happened. But in my 11-year-old brain, I remember having these giant contact lenses glued into my eyes, and I couldn't close my eyes. They were so big. And they put me in this room, in this dark room, so my eyes could dilate. And the class is like, no, that's not exactly how it happened. They weren't glued in. It was just some kind of drops, and I'm like, are you sure? Because it sure felt like glue. But I just remember it being a very traumatic experience. But that's really all it was. I've always been a very kind of glasses half full kind of guy. So it didn't really bother me too much. Until we got into school, of course.
Of course. Yeah. Then the jokes come, right?
Yeah. Then the jokes come. Then why are you sitting in the front row? Why are you using a monocular? Why are your books so much bigger than my books? I know.
Giant books. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then for me, I had to, I took some Braille classes. They had me take Braille classes.
Oh, okay.
So when everyone was out on recess, I'm like sitting under the remote learning Braille. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
As if I don't have enough on my plate.
For real. Yeah.
But yeah, I was 12, so I'm 38 now. I'm cool. I'm okay with my age. So 26 years now of living with this partial sight, but it happens, right? And we, like you said, glasses half full. We got to look at the positive out of everything.
Well, do you remember the whole experience of getting diagnosed?
Oh, I do. Most of it anyway. So what happened with me is very interesting. I was actually hit on the left side of my face on the playground. And I had blood clots in my cheek for like a year. And I had 2 black eyes. So at that time, that's when my sight was kind of being weird. And I went to the optometrist. He just kind of pegged me as being an ornery kid, not wanting to cooperate. So
yeah,
that was tough. And my parents didn't take it, like they didn't accept that. So they took me to a different optometrist, and then that guy had more higher technology. So he actually noticed that there was something wrong with my eyes. Then they did the dilation, just like you're talking about. And he looked in the back of my eye and was like, whoa, there's something not right. So then all the other tests came up, with the retinal specialist and shooting you up with dye so that they could see all the veins in your eye and stuff.
Poking and prodding.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that's basically how it happened for me. And it was tough as a kid, but it, as we grew older, we kind of tend to like look at the glass more half full. At the time, honestly, it was kind of empty, you know, but
Yeah.
you know, you flip your mindset, you pick yourself up by your bootstraps, you know, and you dust yourself off and move on, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What is up with that though? I heard that a lot back in the day, and I thought it was just because it was back in the day.
Mhm.
But I had somebody recently send me an email, and they were talking about they took their kid to a doctor, and the doctor said, "Oh, they're just trying to get attention."
Yeah,
That's like, seriously, people are still saying that, in this modern day? It's like,
right.
no,
What is up with that?
that's crazy. Yeah.
It is. So what are some challenges that you've faced, you know, being a partially sighted or legally blind person trying to navigate the world?
Well, as we talked about, in school, it was tough. It was, y- when you're in school, the last thing you want to be is different than everybody else. You just want to be like everybody else. You want to blend in.
Of course.
At least, back then. Nowadays, it's a little more accepted to be different. But um, and then that's hard to do when, as I say, you're sitting in the front row, you've got the large print books, you're using the monocular, you've got the four-sided tape that you're trying to record your lectures with, and this is back before iPads and all that kind of stuff. But
Right.
so that was tough, but out of school, and I'm sure you can probably relate, I was just a normal kid. I played with my buddies. I did all the things. I rode my bike, rode my skateboard, did all the things
Sure.
that all the other kids did. Fast forward, getting older, coming around the age of driving. Of course, that was tough, not being able to drive.
I still did a little bit though.
Oh yeah. Do you want to talk about that? Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually a really good driver. It's just nobody will let me.
Right. In my mind, so am I.
um, yeah, because when I was 16, actually, when I turned 16, I had the best parents. My dad got me a scooter because I'm originally from North Carolina, and back there you didn't need a license to ride a scooter, ride a moped.
Uh-huh.
And so my dad got me a moped, and I was all over the city. Vision was a little bit better back then, but
Sure.
I talk about this in one of my videos where I talk about, creating systems for everyday life. And I even had systems for riding my moped. I would, if I was coming up to a street, stoplight, I would get off the side of the street and wait for another car to get up and stop so I could pull in behind them, because I could just follow that car in front of me. So I had little tricks for everything. But you know, getting into like dating and stuff, that was tough. But once again, it's just like anything. I found a way to make it work. Okay, A doesn't work for me, so let's try B. And that's kind of been my philosophy all along, really.
Right. So basically, trial and error.
Yeah,
Right.
figure it out.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely respect that, because I'm the same way. I think when you get to a certain point, you get into this mindset where you just gotta, figure out what works best for you.
Mhm.
So speaking of your channel, you mentioned it just a little bit ago. Tell me about your channel. Tell me a little bit more. I mean, I definitely follow it, so I've seen some of your videos. But what prompted you to even create your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so I started back in 2013 is when I created the channel. Back then it was called The Blind Spot.
Uh-huh.
Some of my OG viewers might remember that. Which The Blind Spot was an homage to Stargardt's, right? I don't have any central vision, and so it was an homage to my vision impairment, but it was also, I wanted to create a place where people could come, and a literal spot where people could come and learn about blindness. At the time, I was working for another channel, actually, a mobile technology channel. I was hired by this gentleman down in Texas to make videos about Android technology and Android systems and stuff. And so, long story short, that was kind of winding down, and I needed something else to do. So around 2013, I decided to search on YouTube for Stargardt's, actually. And at the time, there wasn't very much information on there. There weren't all these amazing blind YouTubers like there are right now. But so I said, you know what, I've got all the equipment. I was already making videos for another channel, not having to do anything at all with blindness. But I said, you know, I should start my own channel. And I wanted it to be a real life someone living with the vision impairment, because there were a couple of videos about medical side of it and all that. But there, like I said, there wasn't a ton of real life stuff. So yeah, so I did. I started the Blind Spots December of 2013 with some very terrible first videos, which all first videos always are. Sure. And that's fine. You know, just get started. That's what I always say. But slowly it's progressed. It's at the time and the first couple of years, it was just, I'd make a video about whatever came to mind. You know, I had no direction. I wasn't like trying to grow a channel or anything like that. Well, back then people didn't even really know much about how to grow a channel and analytics and all this kind of algorithms and all this stuff. But over the years, it's kind of distilled down to helping people. That's the kind of the tagline of the channel, is help you learn how to live your best blind life. And with an emphasis on assistive technology now. So that's basically how it all started. And then I should say that somewhere along the lines, I had to change the name. There were some legal issues with another company that had a similar name, and they weren't too happy about me having the Blind Spot name. Yeah, I think they were jealous because I was starting to get a little popular, and yeah, at least that's what I like to think anyway.
Right. I like the Blind Spot. That's clever.
Yeah, I loved it too. But it was tough at the time. This was about 3 years ago. I had to change it, and it was really hard at the time because the Blind Spot had been my baby for like 3 years, and I had nurtured it and everything. But in hindsight, it wasn't that big of a deal to change the name. And I think the new name, The Blind Life, I think it actually fits better.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So it is our life. So
that's right.
So, absolutely. So let's go ahead and talk about IrisVision a little bit. So Mel, can you go ahead and get those slides up for me, please? Thank you, ma'am. So for those of you out there who don't know about IrisVision, IrisVision is a technology that combines a Samsung cell phone with a virtual reality headset. It's kind of a reverse engineering type of system that has different software lenses to help people who are legally blind or partially sighted to become more independent. So with IrisVision, there's remote onboarding. So you'll get your coaching sessions and you'll learn how to use the device completely remotely. The software lenses are so amazing. They help in so many different ways, and we'll learn about that in just a bit. But with all this going on right now with the pandemic and everything, being able to do the coaching sessions remotely is a huge deal. And myself and my team, we work with people every single day, again, over the phone, over conference call. And it's just such an awesome process. So let's kind of learn about the software lenses here. So if you look at the slide here, we have an example of all the different, almost all the different software lenses. These are the most popular ones, starting with the scene mode. So scene is just a regular full color viewing mode where people can actually look at photographs. They can use it to read prescription labels or look at the clock on the wall or go to a museum, maybe even a sporting event. Different things like that. It's just your basic full color viewing mode. And then we have the colored reading modes. For those of you who are familiar with like CCTVs and things like that, you'd be kind of familiar with these colored modes as well. We have the reading, which is black and white. We have reading inverted, which is a black background, white letters. We have green and yellow, which again, green background, black letters, yellow background, black letters. So these colored modes are really cool because depending on your eye condition, one of these modes is going to work best for you. For me, it's the inverted. I don't know about you, Sam, but I like looking at stuff in the inverted mode.
Yeah, that really works the best for me as well.
Yeah, and it's so cool to be able to just hold your documents up or whatever it is you're trying to read when you're wearing IrisVision, because then you don't have to like go back and forth to a CCTV or something, which CCTVs are great, but it's nice to have that hands-free portability as well. With the RP mode, RP, for those of you who don't know, stands for retinitis pigmentosa. It's a form of tunnel vision, and this mode is designed for people who have tunnel vision. So what it basically does is it brings the image down. If you could see the video, it'll display how the video kind of, the image gets pushed back a little bit. So that gives a person with tunnel vision a wider field of view. So it allows them to see much more of whatever they're trying to look at, their room or whatever. And it also helps them with being able to see things in the darker room. Things are a little bit brighter. So it's a really great mode. Although it is designed for people with tunnel vision, it works for anybody. It's comparable to the scene mode. And to be honest with you, I use RP mode most of the time when I'm using my device. I really like it. The clarity is great. The contrast is great. And it just works really well all around. So then we have the different magnifiers. So there are 3 different magnifiers. We have the bioptic mode, the bubble mode, and the reading line mode. Right now we have the bioptic mode being displayed. Basically, it's just like a magnification box at the top of the screen with a smaller box at the bottom, which acts kind of like a target. So wherever you point that little box, you'll be able to zoom in that upper box as you see displayed on this video. It's just another option for people to look at things like in their pantry, or if they're at a grocery store. Again, maybe like at a sporting event or at a museum, the bioptic mode could come in handy for playing cards, or those who like to tinker, like take things apart, because it allows you to have the regular view all around, but then that magnified view up in that box. And then we have the bubble mode. So the bubble mode is, again, another magnifier. This one looks more like a handheld magnifier, where you see literally like a bubble in the middle of your screen. You can actually adjust the bubble by swiping on the touchpad, making it bigger or medium or smaller. So the bigger size will allow you to look at things further away. The medium-sized bubble will, again, just like the bioptic, allow you to maybe read playing cards or prescription labels or labels on cans or boxes. Maybe you want to look at your wristwatch. When it's smaller, it's really great for sorting pills or buttons or coins, doing more small, intricate tasks. So that's basically how some of these modes work. Now, IrisVision is an FDA registered and clinically validated device. We're working with the National Eye Institute, with UPMC, Johns Hopkins University, Stanford University. We're partnered with Samsung, but we also won the Innovation Award at the Consumer Electronics Show in 2019. So that's kind of a big deal.
Wow,
yeah, it's pretty awesome to be able to say that. So that's basically IrisVision and how it works. So Sam, tell us why you like IrisVision. What is it that you like about the device? Why do you love it so much?
Well, number one, it just works the best for me. That style, the VR style headset, just seems to work the best for me. I know it works the best for a lot of people. But the fact that you guys have utilized the pre-existing technology, the Samsung technology, Samsung cameras, Samsung screens, their AMOLED screen, it's super high definition, so you get a really good image. That was a lot of information you gave too, by the way. You did a great job. You did much better than I would have.
I do it every day.
yeah, you could tell. But and then all the different modes, like as you were talking about them, I spoke with a gentleman recently who he said that he uses the RP mode when he doesn't have RP, but he uses that mode when he goes to watch movies in the theater. he can, push it back. He can sit back and push it back. And then the bioptic mode, I have found works really well because you have that, you get that context view. So but you have the magnification as well. I think it works really well when you're talking to somebody because you can see their face, their whole head, but you can zoom in on their eyes, or their features and see them in that little window. But I just, like I said, everybody talks about all the things you can do with it. Using it for reading, filling out paperwork, reading your prescription bottles. But I still swear that whenever I talk about it, I try to promote the little things in life, watching. I always say one of the dumbest things that I do with it is I'll sit there and I'll watch my dog roll around on the carpet, on the rug. And because it's those little details that I can't see normally, it's those things that I miss. I can see the dog's shape moving around, but I don't see the detail of it. And it's those little joys, seeing those things. One of the things I love is just sitting around a table with my family and talking with them and being able to see their faces. Like my daughter, I've got a 15-year-old daughter, and being able to actually see her face, see the detail of her face while she's, talking. And
that's
really pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Those are the things I love doing. And then of course, all the other things. I use it a lot when we're playing games and board games and things like that. It works great for those. Yeah,
absolutely. So besides using it for socializing like that, again, with your family or, in general, playing board games, do you feel that with IrisVision, you've had like your independence restored a little bit more? Meaning like, for example, for me, I can use my IrisVision to adjust my washing machine, my microwave, my dishwasher, go out to the grocery store and use it to look at prices, things like that. So how has that impacted you?
Well, I'm a little bit of a different case than the average person because I'm very fortunate that I've got access to a lot of really cool assistive technology. So I tend to do things by myself using one tool or another, but and it's usually just my magnifier that it's always within reach of me. But IrisVision definitely is a very important tool that I've got in my toolbox, and I don't know if it gives me independence per se, but it allows me to enjoy life a lot more. Like I said, those little things, those little life moments that I usually miss. And then big things, like I took it to New York for a New York trip last year, and I made a video about that. And I used it to see the Statue of Liberty. I took it to the MoMA. I took it to the Natural History Museum, and I could put it on and I could see the bones of the giant T-Rex, and those are great places for something like the IrisVision in particular, because you're generally roped off. You can't get close to these exhibits. And so I could put that on and bring me close. Took it to the 9/11 museum. It was fantastic. And also, I should mention that in one of those, I think it was the Natural History Museum, we went into one room and it was so dark in that room, I couldn't see my hand in front of my face. I had to hold on to my wife. You can probably relate. We don't have the best vision in dark situations. Right. But I put on the IrisVision and instantly it was like somebody turned the lights on in the room. I could see everything. And I was like, oh, the exit's over there. Okay. My family's right there. I know I've got my surroundings down and everything. And, I know they say you're not supposed to walk around with it, but I did. Just don't tell anybody.
Okay.
don't tell your bosses.
Right. I am the head coach at IrisVision.
I know. Do as I say, not as I do. But no, it was fantastic. Yeah. It really came in very handy.
That's cool. Yeah, I know that for me, as far as the independence goes, I'm actually able to use my device to do the little things like you're saying, like go to a restaurant and sign the receipt and fill out the tip and everything. That's something that people don't really think about, right? So to be able to like actually write on that line on the receipt and like sign my name on the line of the receipt, not just a scribble, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And then if you forget what letter you're on, forget it. Just, it turns into a scribble, right? So or filling out documentation. Like I went to my doctor's appointment, I was able to use my device to fill out the documentation at the doctor's, which is something that without it, I would normally have to ask someone to help me fill out the paperwork. So it's pretty cool to be able to have a tool like that. Like you're saying, it's a lifestyle, really. It's not just a tool, it's a lifestyle. And for me, and it's just a really cool feeling to be able to have that independence and not have to like worry about who's going to help me, or what am I going to do, and am I signing on the right line? Can you put your finger, can you just make a really dark X next to where I have to sign,
right?
So yeah. So why would you recommend IrisVision to your audience?
Well, I say, I get this question all the time. Usually people say, I've got X vision impairment, what's going to work the best for me? And I tell people, I can't answer that because I don't know, vision impairment is so vastly different. It's impossible for me to say what's going to work. But I do say, this is what's worked the best for me. And this is my vision impairment. This is my acuity, and this is what's worked the best for me. So, maybe start there. And IrisVision is always at the top of that list. And as I said, I've talked with a lot of people over the years, and it seems that this style of headset, this VR style of headset, seems to work the best for the most people. So if I tell people, if you're considering it at all, give it a shot. Contact the company and contact IrisVision and see what can be done about that. Try it out, because you might get lucky. Chances are you probably will. You probably will get lucky.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, because IrisVision is definitely revolutionizing the wearable technology industry. For sure, we're paving the way. So we're always improving. We're always coming up with new things. So it's exciting what IrisVision is doing for the low vision community.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for your time, Sam. This was amazing. This was a great opportunity. I was really excited about it. My coaches were excited too. So definitely appreciate that. And I just want you to know that one of my coaches, James, he says hi.
That's right, James. I was supposed to do a shout out to James. We talked about that last time.
Yeah.
Well, hello, James.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Myrna and Sam. I was sitting on the other end of this, just laughing along with you guys and just listening to all the information. That was fantastic. So I am going to move it over to the Q&A session. So what I will do, we do have a couple questions and a couple of things that our viewers wanted to share already in the chat box. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and just, say everything, verbalize them out loud, and then you guys can respond. Again, for all of our viewers, if you have any questions or if you wanted to share anything, feel free to type it in the chat box and we will go ahead and cover it during this session. But first off, I wanted to share a comment by Mike. Mike says, great slide presentation. I have had my IrisVision for over 2 years and it is amazing. I went on a boat ride on Lake Winnipesaukee. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. On Monday afternoon and took a ton of snapshots with the IrisVision and posted them on Facebook. This device opens up such a world of opportunity for anyone with low vision. That's awesome. Thanks you so much, Mike. Yeah, great to hear. We have another question coming in. I'm going to toss this one over to Myrna. Matthew is asking, can it be used to watch live sports or parents watching their kids play soccer, etc.?
Oh, absolutely. I know that when my daughter was in soccer, I used it to watch her, and it was so cool to actually be able to see her, because normally I would just sit back and listen, and I'd be like, okay, where is she? But this time with IrisVision, I was actually able to zoom in on her, focus in on her, and watch her go back and forth. And at one point I watched her fall. I'm like, my baby, and it's crazy because I was actually able to see that in real time. So yes, it could be a little challenging to track things at first, but it's definitely possible to be able to watch live sports or, kids sports or whatever, watching your kids at the park or anything like that.
Awesome. Thank you, Myrna. So, Sam, this question's for you. Ken Smith is asking, do you use IrisVision while editing videos? I want to know this one too.
No, no, I don't. The reason I keep looking to the right here is because I've got my beautiful big 40-inch 4K Samsung TV as my computer screen. So with magnification on my computer and this big 4K monitor, that's all I need for that. I don't know. I should try that. Maybe it would speed things up. I need to speed up my editing.
You should. I know. I use my computer to look at my laptop. I mean, my IrisVision to look at my laptop. So I'm just used to it. So, but I do use magnification to when I'm not using IrisVision.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet you might be surprised. You should try it.
I should, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. So let's see, we have a couple more questions. So Marty's asking, and you guys can both share your experience on this one, but Marty's saying, while using the IrisVision glasses during a board game, for example, do others become less aware that you're using the device?
Myrna, you want to take that, or?
Sure, I'll go first. So when I'm playing board games, it is a little bit of a challenge at first because there's no depth perception. So reaching out sometimes can be a little iffy, but you just zoom out and get an idea, get a feel of where everything is. Once you're used to it, it's not so bad. Also playing like Taboo, being able to read my own card, that's pretty cool. My family has always been really good about adjusting for me when we play board games or any kind of games. So now with IrisVision, they don't have to do that as much, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was going to echo that. Whenever I play board games or any kind of games, it's usually with family and friends. And so they're all totally supportive and they're just excited that I'm enjoying the whole process a lot more because I can do it myself. But you're absolutely right. The lack of depth perception does take a little bit of getting used to. Especially you're playing like something like Scrabble and you go to reach out and you're just pushing everybody's tiles around because you don't realize how close you are. But you do get used to it pretty quick. And sometimes I oftentimes will use the IrisVision. I will use it when I need it. Well, any of my assistive technology, I use it. I kind of flip back and forth between not using it and using it. So that situation, if I was needed to look down at the board and do something, I'd have it on. But if I wanted to talk to somebody, I might just pop it up, sit on top of my forehead, and then have that conversation, and then put it back down when I go back down to my hand. So there's no right or wrong way to use it as long as you get it done.
Right. Sometimes when we're hanging out, I'll take pictures. My brother will be like, "Did you just take a picture of me?" Nope, I didn't. And then I text it to him. I sure did.
There you go.
Very cool. Awesome. So I have another comment. There's a lot of questions coming in. So thank you all for asking your questions. Hopefully we can get to all of them. So Marie is saying that her mom has the IrisVision device and she's 93 years old.
Wow.
Sometimes she does think it's a little too heavy, which is something, we're in the works on improving. But she's asking, so for on the go, she's asking if do you hang it on your neck to go to stores and then you put it on to see prices. So maybe if you want to share your experience about this one, either of you.
Sure. So absolutely. It comes with that lanyard attached to it. So it's really easy to let it dangle around your neck like binoculars. Again, walking with it is not a good idea. You don't want to do that. But it's easy to just kind of slip it on and off as you want to look at things. Again, reading price tags, that's something that you could try different modes with at first as you're getting used to using your device out and about. You might like using the regular scene mode or the RP mode, or maybe even one of the magnifiers like the bubble or the bioptic or even the reading line. So just practice with it, go out. even though it might feel a little heavy, it's only just a little over a pound. So it is going to take some time to get used to that extra weight, because obviously we're not used to holding that weight in front of our face like that. But the more you practice with it, the more you'll get used to it. Just like working out a muscle, the more you do it, the more you'll get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Yeah, and I know, I think Tom Persky might be on the call. He's a vice president at IrisVision, also legally blind and super big advocate for the device, and he loves the Lanyard feature. So he might be on the call. Just a little shout out to him. But I know he definitely advocates for that Lanyard feature. He always talks about how easy and convenient it is to just, walk around, go about your day, and just, put it on, look through it, and go on about whatever it is that we're doing.
Right. So one thing I want to just mention real quick, if you are outdoors and you're using the lanyard, you might want to make sure you put like a little cloth or something, a little hand towel over the lenses, so that the sun's not shining directly into those magnification bubbles. So just a little tip for those of you out there, put a little cloth or something over the lenses when you're letting them dangle down around your neck like binoculars if you're outdoors.
Definitely. So Sam, I do have a question for you. One of our viewers is asking, what are some new videos you are working on?
Oh.
If you can share this top secret information.
I just had a couple really big videos, projects finished up. So I'm kind of taking it easy. Just some small little like tips and tricks videos coming out this week and next week. But I do, if you guys will permit me, I would like to promote an event coming up that actually IrisVision is going to be part of, that I'm helping to coordinate an online conference in October. And that's what this week's video is going to be about. It's an update talking about some of the presenters, but IrisVision is going to be there demonstrating their product. So it's the Assistive Technology and Trends online conference, October 1st and 2nd. You can check out my channel to learn more about that. Like I said, I've got a video coming out Saturday.
Nice.
Awesome. And yes, we are excited about that one. We will be presenting at that one. So that's great. I did not know that you were going to be a part of it. So that makes me even more excited. Awesome.
Yeah, I'll be doing your job actually one of the days. Cool. And I'm nervous.
Love it. Yeah, that's awesome.
Just for those who may not know, Sam, how could they find you on YouTube?
Yeah, so the YouTube channel is The Blind Life, and literally if you Google that, you will find me. The YouTube URL is just youtube.com/theblindlife. And Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that as well. You can find links to all of that in the description of every single one of my videos, actually.
Yeah, so make sure you, if you haven't visited Sam's YouTube, make sure you go over there and subscribe, and find him on social media, like his pages, join his groups, whatever he has out there. Get out there and give him the thumbs up.
That's right.
Awesome. So for sure, I'm looking through the comments again. So a couple quick questions that I can answer. Somebody's asking if IrisVision is available for international shipping, and the answer is yes. I will share my screen in a little bit with the contact information for both IrisVision and the Blind Life's YouTube channel. And you can go ahead after this webinar, contact us, and we can get that set up for you. We do have some questions talking about the possibility of walking around with IrisVision. So again, like Myrna mentioned, it's not recommended to walk around with it. That's why we really advocate for our lanyard feature, as you can put it around your neck and pop it on and look at whatever you need to look at. So it makes it very convenient in that sense. Myrna, for you, Sarah is asking, when you began to use the device, did you experience any headaches or vertigo, or was the inclusion into your daily life pretty much seamless?
No, I absolutely experienced headaches and eye fatigue. So that's the thing with IrisVision. It does give you a little bit of a side effect at first. You can experience nausea, dizziness, eye fatigue, headaches, eye strain. these things can happen. It's all normal, but it's just like getting used to a regular pair of glasses. It's going to take a little bit of time. Again, the more you practice with it, the more accustomed you're going to become to using it. For me, the headaches and eye strain didn't last too long, maybe about a few weeks. But now I could wear it for a prolonged period of time with no problem. So yes, it can happen, but it does go away if you practice diligently.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just want to add also that that's true for any VR headset. It's not just IrisVision. That can be, some people are more sensitive. I've never had any problem with dizziness or heating up or anything like that. But yeah, that can happen. But all devices.
That makes sense, because again, it's something that you're trying to get used to, like a pair of glasses, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's going to take a little time. And just to touch on the walking around thing, again, there's no depth perception. A lot of the time people will say, well, I don't have depth perception anyway, but it's totally different.
Yeah.
with iris, it's completely different. So that's why it's not recommended to walk around with it.
I shouldn't have said anything. It's my fault.
No, believe me, that's actually a very, very common question. So
yeah. I've had to answer that many times, and
Really?
also no driving. I've had to answer that
Oh.
too. You cannot drive with
Please
any of
don't
these kind
drive.
of devices. No, definitely
No,
not.
right. Please do not do that ever.
Yeah, Sam,
Ever.
if it makes you feel better, this is one of the top questions on every webinar. So
Yeah, I
no
figured.
worries. I do see that Heidi is also, she commented, she said, I love using IrisVision. I sometimes use my cane when I walk with it on. Is that okay? So again, Heidi, we love that you love it. Yeah, but it's just not recommended to walk around with it necessarily. But again, that lanyard feature makes it very convenient. So that's awesome. Also, Myrna, I think you can answer this one. Heidi's also asking, where do we get more batteries if yours runs out on the go? So if you want to talk about the on-the-go charging cable.
Sure. So you can definitely get an external battery just about anywhere. Walmart, Target, Best Buy, Amazon, anywhere online. Those external battery packs are very, very common. They're basically the same ones that you would use to charge your cell phone or your other electronics on the go. So if that battery runs out, then you could just get one pretty much anywhere. If you're talking about the battery that's actually in the phone, you can replace it at any cell phone store or battery store. Like they can replace that battery there. So I hope that answers your question, Heidi.
Awesome. And Mike did also respond to this saying he says that he uses an external battery from Walmart and it can run for hours. So very true. That's awesome. Sam, this question is for you. One of our viewers is asking, which IrisVision mode do you usually use?
I'm a simple guy. I like simple things. I just basically use the scene. That's pretty much what I use 99% of the time, and then the inverted, as we talked about before, for reading. But if I want to see something close up, I just zoom in and then zoom out if I need to. Yeah, that's pretty much what I keep it on most of the time. And then the YouTube, obviously, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely. And Myrna, I know you have a lot of you shared a little bit about RP mode and how you use that one, if you want to tell us a little bit too.
Yeah, absolutely. With the RP mode, again, it's comparable to the scene mode. It's just that you can actually swipe down easily on the touchpad to change the field of view. But in general, in the RP mode, there's a little bit of a zoom boost. The clarity is typically a little better and the contrast is better. That's why I like the RP mode. And Sam, you should try it.
Yeah.
Use the scene mode and pick a magnification level. I usually work with a magnification of 3 and focus on an object and then bounce over to RP, set it at magnification 3, and then bounce back and forth and compare. You'll see that there's a little bit of a difference in RP mode versus scene mode.
All right. Yeah, I'll check that out.
That's your homework, Sam.
Okay. Easy.
Love it. Very cool. So I'll ask a couple more questions. I know you guys might be getting tired from all the question answering, but I love that everybody is very excited about this. So Tabitha is asking if there's a way to try out IrisVision to make sure it's the right fit for you. If Myrna, you want to take this one.
Sure, absolutely. With IrisVision, there is a trial period. You could try it for 30 days and see if it's a good fit. You can definitely call in to our sales department and talk to a sales guy who can give you a little more information about how that trial period works. I don't have the phone number memorized for the sales department, so Mel, I'm sure you're going to share that a little bit later.
Yes, I'll actually go ahead and share my screen now, just so everybody has access to basically the phone numbers. And also there's a little bit about the Blind Life YouTube channel. So if you do go on YouTube and you type in the Blind Life, you'll find Sam's channel, ton of amazing videos. Again, I apologize, we won't be able to get to all of the questions here since there is a lot coming in. But if you have any questions or would like more information, feel free to contact IrisVision. Our website is listed above. Our email, sales, and support numbers are there as well. So I will read those out at the end. But just to wrap up in a bit, I will go to a couple more questions. Oh, we have Heidi saying that love your videos, Sam. So
Thank you.
Awesome. We do have a lot of good fans here. And then Jeffrey is asking, can you tell us a little bit more about the conference on October 1st and 2nd, if you wanted to cover that?
Sure. Yeah, briefly. It's the Assistive Technology and Trends online conference. So it's all assistive technology for the visually impaired and the current technology that's really hot right now, and then what is possibly coming in the future. We've got presentations and demonstrations. It's a 2-day conference. It's really geared also towards assistive technology professionals. So if you work with someone in the visually impaired community, then this is going to be a great conference for you. You'll be able to get continuing education credits if you're a TVI or an O&M specialist, that sort of thing. Those will be available as well. And we actually have a free webinar coming up next week. Once again, my Saturday video is going to be talking about it, and I will have links to websites and all of that. They're in the description of my videos right now, in fact.
Awesome. Yes, we are definitely excited. We are looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
I have a couple more things. So Mike is just saying, we love how enthusiastic you are about IrisVision, Mike. He's saying that you can use IrisVision to see nature up close. I've seen deers with it, birds. It's amazing. I use it to read or see lyrics on a screen in church services. So he's saying there's lots of things that he can't do without IrisVision. So that's amazing to hear that. Pretty much to wrap up our webinar, Myrna, we have a question asking what are some of the new features coming out or in the pipeline, if you want to give everybody a little bit of a teaser.
Okay. Well, depending on what version of IrisVision you're on, there are some new features coming up with the Iris Reader. That's going to have an improvement. You're going to be able to do a lot more with Iris Reader as far as changing the background from black and white to inverted. You'll be able to fast forward, rewind the readout. The video player is now going to have categories. So you'll be able to actually have your own customized category as well. So a few things coming up. Right now, we're working on just making the current software lenses that we have even better. The configuration menu is a little bit different as well. Now it's more specific towards each particular mode. So that's a lot easier to navigate because if you're familiar with IrisVision, when you go into the configuration mode, you can accidentally adjust IPD, which that one is a little tricky. But with the way it's set up now, and it's going to be set up, it's going to be a lot easier to navigate those configuration modes. So I think that's the biggest plus there.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah. So again, we have a lot of interesting and new features coming out. So for sure, be on the lookout. So I just wanted to conclude this session by thanking both Sam and Myrna for such an excellent conversation. It's always a pleasure to have Sam collaborate with IrisVision in every way. We really do appreciate you. And the whole team was so excited, like I said, for having you in this event. And Myrna, as always, she has been involved in pretty much all of our webinars. So we're looking forward to having more webinars and collaborations with both of you in the future. We have some people saying thank you in the chat. So that's amazing. And thank you to all of you amazing participants for taking part in this. Again, I do apologize as we were not able to get to all of the questions, though if you do have any pressing questions or would like to learn more about IrisVision, the contact information is on the screen. So feel free to visit our website, email us, call us, and we would love to get in touch with you and answer your questions more in depth. And again, if you're interested in looking more into Sam's YouTube channel, it is called The Blind Life. I do have it written on the screen. If you go to YouTube, you type in The Blind Life, you will see a vast number of amazing videos. It's fantastic. So multiple videos regarding IrisVision and various assistive technology that Sam gives his approval on or doesn't give his approval on. So it's always a very honest opinion. So we definitely do recommend that you check out his channel as well. So I'll pass it over to the two of you if you want to give any closing remarks. Just from the IrisVision team, we want to thank both of you so much.
Yeah, so just real quick, for those of you who might have a little trouble seeing the screen, the email is info@irisvision.com. Okay, and the phone number to sales is 855-449-4536. For those of you who are users, if you have any questions regarding your device, the customer support phone number is 855-207-6665. All right, so thank you everybody for tuning in today. I hope you learned a lot. Sam, I really appreciate the time you took. I know you're a busy guy, so it was really fun to be able to sit with you and chat a little bit and give people an idea of what it's like to see through our eyes.
Well, thank you very much. We almost made it through the whole thing without my dog going crazy. Sorry about that. No, it's my pleasure. I had a blast. If you guys, I'm happy to do this again in the future if you ever need me to. I should also give my email if anybody wants to reach out to me. It's theblindlifesam@gmail.com. I apologize. I'm not going to give my phone number. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Amazing. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Take care and have a great day.